Greetings and salutations. Thank you for listening to Antiquity Radio. This week on Starbuck Presents, I'll be showcasing two old-time radio dramas that I think you're really going to enjoy. First up, we have the Lux Radio Theater presenting Arrowsmith. Arrowsmith is a novel by American author Sinclair Lewis, first published in 1925. Arrowsmith tells the story of a bright and scientifically minded Martin Arrowsmith as he makes his way from a small town in the Midwest to the upper echelons of the scientific community. The book contains considerable social commentary on the state and prospects of medicine in the United States in the 1920s. Arrowsmith is a progressive, even somewhat of a rebel, and often challenges the existing state of things when he finds it wanting. Arrowsmith was awarded the 1926 Pulitzer Prize for Fiction, but Lewis declined the award. In a letter to the committee, he wrote, "I wish to acknowledge your choice of my novel Arrowsmith for the Pulitzer Prize. The prize I must refuse, and my refusal would be meaningless unless I explain the reasons. All prizes, like all titles, are dangerous. The seekers for prizes tend to labor not for inherent excellence, but for alien rewards. They tend to write this, or timorously to avoid writing that, in order to tickle the prejudices of a haphazard committee. And the Pulitzer Prize for novels is peculiarly objectionable, because the terms of it have been constantly and grievously misrepresented. Those terms are that the prize shall be given, quote, for the American novel published during the year, which shall best represent the wholesome atmosphere of the American life, and the highest standard of American manners and manhood. This phrase, if it means anything whatsoever, would appear to mean that the appraisal of the novels should be not according to their actual literary merit, but in obedience to whatever code of good form may chance to be popular at the moment. The New York Times reported that according to observers, the real reason was that Lewis was still upset that Main Street did not win the prize in 1921. This radio production from October 25th, 1937, stars Spencer Tracy and Fay Wray. Thank you for listening to Antiquity Radio. Enjoy the show.
From Hollywood, California, the Lux Radio Theater presents Spencer Tracy and Fay Wray in the Sinclair Lewis drama, Arrowsmith. Lux presents Hollywood. Our sponsors wish to thank you for your splendid support of our product, in appreciation of which they bring you these Monday night productions. Headlining our program tonight are Spencer Tracy of Metro Goldwyn Mayer Studios and Fay Wray. As guests, John R. Kissinger of Huntington, Indiana, the United States Army private who risked his life that a cure for yellow fever might be found, and Terry Hunt, the man who keeps the screen stars physically fit. Louis Silvers conducts our orchestra. And now, here's our producer. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Cecil B. DeMille.
Greetings from Hollywood, ladies and gentlemen. I like Sinclair Lewis' description of himself. I'm just a country hick, he says, living on a farm. And every time I leave it, I get into trouble. A nonconforming literary thunderbolt for many years, Mr. Lewis won the Pulitzer Prize for Arrowsmith, but turned down the $1,000 as a protest against what he called the restrictive terms of the award. The son of a physician, with a grandfather, uncle, and brother, also doctors, it's easy to understand why Mr. Lewis turned to medicine for the background of his story. Before writing Arrowsmith, he spent many months in a New York medical center doing research. There he met the famous biographer of medicine, Dr. Paul de Kruif, and with him traveled through the West Indies on a tireless search for color and material. Tonight's presentation is based on the magnificent screenplay and stars Spencer Tracy in the title role. Mr. Tracy commands an unquestioned position as one of the finest actors ever seen in motion pictures. For his appearance here, we thank Metro Goldwyn Mayer Studios, who next present him opposite Joan Crawford in Mannequin. I'm also delighted to present, in the part of Leora, a girl with one of the most enviable records of hit performances in Hollywood. Beautiful, talented, unspoiled, Miss Fay Wray. Helen Wood is heard as Joyce, Frank Riker as Dr. Gottlieb, and John Quallen of the original cast as Novak. And now the curtain vanishes, and the Lux Radio Theater brings you Arrowsmith, starring Spencer Tracy and Fay Wray. the Zenith Hospital, somewhere in the Middle West. At the end of a long corridor, a student nurse is on her hands and knees, vigorously scrubbing the floor. From the elevator comes a young doctor, just out of medical school. He steps along briskly, pardonably impressed with his brand-new degree. As he passes the nurse, she splashes water onto the floor and into the cuff of his trousers. Hey,
Oh, I'm sorry.
why don't you look where you're slopping that water? You got me soaking wet.
Well, I didn't mean to.
Never mind now. I want to find Ward D. Can you direct me?
I could, yes.
Well, if it isn't interrupting your work.
This isn't my work. Nurses aren't supposed to scrub floors. The superintendent caught me smoking a cigarette. You go back for Ward D, turn right, and then left.
I've been informed that the first duty of a nurse is to stand when a doctor speaks to her.
Oh, gee, I've been getting fresh again. Oh, I didn't know you were a doctor.
It may interest you to know that I'm assistant to Dr. Gottlieb at the university, and that I'm on my way to Ward D to take a strain of a very dangerous microbe. And after I've done what I came to do, I'm going to report you.
Look out for the pail. You shouldn't go around kicking over pails. Now you are wet.
What's your name, please?
What's yours?
Arrowsmith. Say, you know you're not reporting me.
Oh, gee, there I go again. Well, scrubbing floors just makes me rebellious, and being rebellious naturally makes me fresh, and there you are. I'm sorry, really. My name's Leora Tozer. It's a silly name, isn't it?
What's wrong with it? I kind of like it.
Oh, do you? Well, thanks.
When can you get away for dinner?
With you?
I've decided to overlook reporting you. How about tonight?
Well,
Why not?
I don't mind.
What time?
Miss Tozer. She's at the head nurse.
You will telephone me the patient's temperature every hour, and I'll look in again at 7. At 7. You understand me?
Yes, doctor, at 7.
We got the same results every time. The injected rats lived and the others died. That's what gives you the check, see?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. You're really interested in research, aren't you?
Oh, it's the only branch of medicine. You get to feel that when you work with Gottlieb. Prevention of disease. Tracking down the microbe and finding out what'll wipe it out. It's worth 10 pounds of cure.
Yes. I wish I understood more about it.
I guess I was a little too technical before. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, I liked it. You made me feel intelligent.
Well, at that, I guess you've got to get used to hearing my ideas.
Am I going to hear lots of them?
You're going to marry me.
Well, you don't tell me.
Oh, yes, I do.
Well, now, you know, I shouldn't wonder if you're right. Of course, it's pretty early in the game to be dead sure, but I shouldn't wonder. I guess you're pretty self-centered and pig-headed, but I liked you so much I'd be a fool to pass you up, wouldn't I?
I wasn't being funny.
I didn't think you were.
I meant what I said.
I hope you did. Because I wasn't being funny either.
Good morning, Dr. Gottlieb.
Oh, come in, Martin. Come in.
Well, sir?
I have sent for you, Martin, to tell you that I am leaving this place where I teach young doctors how to kill their patients.
You're leaving?
Yes, I have been called to the McGurk Institute in New York, where I shall do only my own research. The McGurk Institute is the greatest scientific plant in the world. I'm very happy.
I should think you would be, sir.
I'm very happy for you, too, Martin. I have arranged to take you with me as my assistant.
Oh.
You will have opportunity there. Well?
Dr. Gottlieb, you're the greatest man I've ever known. I'd black your shoes for you, Art. But I can't go to New York with you.
Why, Martin, why can't you come with me?
I'm going to get married.
Oh.
And a man can't marry on what a lab assistant makes. I've got to go into practice after all.
Practice? Practice. Give pills to ladies and hold their hands for them. You who have the stuff in you that makes scientists.
Well, that's how it is, sir.
Oh, well. Who is she?
Leora Tozer. She comes from a little town in Dakota. We're going back there. It's not much of a place, but I'll be the only doctor for 30 miles around.
Well, I know better than to argue with a man in love. You'll be a very bad doctor for a while. And then you will find your way back to the laboratory. Now, let me know when you do, and wherever I am, I'll have a place for you.
Thank you.
No. Good luck to you, Martin, and I wish you happiness.
Martin, come in here.
What is it, honey?
Look what I found in the attic. Pa's old Prince Albert coat.
Hey, you don't expect me to be married in that, do you?
I certainly do. And you can wear it when you make your calls.
Oh, but Lee, darling, I'm a country doctor.
Of course you're a country doctor. But you're the biggest man around here. You've got to listen to folks' troubles and help them out. You got to mend their bones and settle their domestic problems and pull their teeth all in one day. You got to see that the milk's pure and the meat's fresh and the backyards are kept tidy. That's what being a country doctor means, Martin. Oh, Dr. Arrowsmith, I'll be so proud to be your wife.
366 human souls in this town, all depending on me to keep them fit. Oh, Lee, sweet, I didn't know a man could be so happy.
Hello? No, the doctor isn't in. Oh. Yes. Yes, I'll tell him. Good night. Is that you, Martin? Oh, Martin, you're drenched. Come in. Here, let me take your coat.
It's all right.
How's the little Weller girl? Is she better?
She died an hour ago.
Oh, Martin.
Gottlieb was right, I guess. I am a rotten doctor.
You mustn't say that, Martin. You did your best. You did everything you knew.
Oh, but I didn't know enough. That was it. It's happened before. It'll happen again.
Please, darling, don't talk like that.
I should have operated tonight. Any other man would have operated, but I didn't. I waited too long.
They won't blame you for it.
No, that's the trouble. They don't blame me. They just sit and stare at me and wonder why their baby should die with me there. Why their baby should die in my arms. I'm not God. I can't work miracles.
Martin, listen to me. You've done well here, darling. You mustn't let one case discourage you. Try to remember the others, the people you've helped, because they remember. And they love you, Martin.
I'm not discouraged, Lee. I guess I've just stagnated, that's all. I've been doing the same thing day in and day out for 3 years. Stitching cuts and setting bones and prescribing for croups and colds. It's got me, that's all.
Martin, it's my fault, isn't it?
What are you talking about?
I never should have asked you to come here. I should have let you go on with your research. That's what you wanted, wasn't
darling,
it?
Don't be silly.
I've tied you down.
Come here, come here. You're all I want, Lee, darling. You're all I want. Regardless of anything else. I'll get it. Oh, hello, Novak. Come on in.
Thanks. I want to speak to you, Doc, if you got a few minutes.
Sure.
Evening, Mrs. Arrowsmith.
How are you, Mr. Novak? How's your wife been these days?
Her? Oh, she's fine. The doc fixed her up good.
What's on your mind, Novak?
Well, it's my cows, Doc.
Your cows?
Yeah, they're sick. Last 2-3 weeks, I lose 12 cows. All my cattle sick.
Well, look, Novak, I'm not a vet.
I know, but you smart feller, Doc.
But I don't know anything about cattle. What are you doing for them now?
Well, the state veterinarian, he come. He give him what he calls serum, but he's no good. The poor cows, they just die quicker.
What does he say it is?
He call it black leg fever, but it don't do no good to call it by a name. All I know is pretty soon it's time to settle some cattle to pay mortgage on my house. And pretty soon I got no cattle left to sell. That's why I come to you, Doc.
But Novak...
Please, Doc, you come. Please,
All right. I'll be over at your place in the morning.
Oh, thanks, Doc. You help him all right. You fix him. I know that. Good night. Good night.
Good night, Mr. Novak.
Cattle. Well, that's a new one, isn't it? Still, it might be something I could... What did he say it was?
Black leg fever, I think.
Black leg fever. I wonder if they've isolated the germ.
Martin, don't you think it's time you went to bed? You've been working with this serum stuff all day.
Research, honey. Turn off that boiling water, will you?
Your research has made an awful mess out of my kitchen.
It's my laboratory now. Gottlieb used to say that any man who really wants to find out things can make a lab out of toothpicks and a piece of string. I use pots and pans.
If Mrs. Bull just phoned, she says her back is worse again.
Tell her to go out and hoe potatoes.
Martin.
I'm busy.
But, Martin, you can't throw over your practice for a lot of cows.
It isn't the cows, Lee, sweet. It's the fun. Now, you go back to bed, darling, please. I'll be pretty busy. I was right, Lee. Look at this.
Yes, Martin.
That vet serum wasn't any good.
Yes, Martin.
We'll try mine in the morning.
Yes.
I'll take it over to Henry Novak's and shoot it into half his cattle.
Yes,
If
Martin.
they live and the other half dies, we'll know we've got something.
Yes, Martin.
What's the matter? Are you tired?
Yes, Martin.
Poor Lee. Well, that's 5 days, Novak. Not a new case yet.
Not a one, Doc. By golly, Doc, I think you better be state vet around here.
I'm sorry about the ones that died, Novak.
Yeah, well, you should ought to have shot your stuff into them, too.
No. That's where you're wrong. You see, the ones we gave the serum to are all right. The ones we didn't give it to aren't. But you have to try both ways when you're experimenting. That's how you find out which way is best.
Yeah, well, line kicking, Doc. How much I owe you?
Oh, not a cent. Forget it. Just for fun.
Pretty good fun for me, all right. Hey, look, it's the state vet. He heard about your stuff, Doc.
Where is he? Hi, Doc. I got a couple of live cows over here that might interest you.
Nothing you got would interest me. And I want to tell you, young feller, I'm state vet, and I don't like no youngster like you telling me my business. So keep clear of these cows, or you'll land yourself in a pack of trouble.
Oh, I see. I didn't know it was like that. I was only trying to help.
You let Doc alone. He's all right.
Sure he is. Here you're getting to be quite the vet, Doc.
Yeah, best in town. I'll be back on the stomach aches now, though.
That's where you belong.
How's that?
I say the stomach aches is where you belong.
Now, I hate to say anything, Doc, but you've got a tone in your voice that I don't like.
It's about time you understand.
Suppose you try to understand that I made a blackleg serum that's better than yours because mine cures blackleg and yours doesn't.
If you think you can discredit me and then hold me up...
I'm not holding you up. I'm giving you this.
Well, this is what I'll give you. My fist, see?
Listen, I'm a scientist. When I see a scientist job I can do, I do it. That's what science is. Now, if you don't want any blackleg serum from me, don't take it from me. Take it from the government. I've sent my reports and samples back to Washington already.
You dirty...
Boy, you knocked him forward, Doc.
Yeah, sure. That's science, too. I've found my line now, and I'm raring to go. You can find me at my house, Doc, anytime you've got any more differences to settle.
Quick, Martin, open it up. I'm so excited. You've never had a letter from New York before.
It's from the McGurk Institute. Listen. We have been watching your work on blackleg fever. May we offer our congratulations. Dr. Gottlieb has recommended you for a position in our experimental laboratory. Good old Gottlieb. May we hear from you soon. Yours truly, Dr. Adywitt Tubbs, Director. What do you think of that?
Martin, you're going to accept it?
Why, of course we're going to accept it.
But it means giving up everything. Just on a chance.
Oh, but Lee, darling, it's the chance we've been waiting for. We've got to take it.
Of course, if you want to. I'm going to love New York, darling.
So we conclude Act One of Arrowsmith. Before Spencer Tracy and Fay Ray go on with Act Two, we go backstage in Hollywood for a moment to a projection room at one of our famous studios, where a director, his secretary, and an agent are watching a screen.
She has a beautiful voice, Joe, but I can't very well put that girl in the middle of a chorus scene.
Why not? What's the matter with her?
Well, look at the close-ups. Look at her skin.
But the girl can sing.
Joe, I haven't time. I'm late now. Come around sometime and I'll talk it over with you. I'll be on set 3, Miss Sherman.
Well, of all the silly
Now,
things...
Joe, take it easy. It's too bad, but... Well, I should think a girl like her would have known about Lux toilet soap. She looks as if she has cosmetic skin.
And that's a very smart crack.
No, Joe, I mean it. Seriously. She has those little blemishes and things. It comes from not getting makeup off thoroughly. The pores get all choked up and the skin gets so coarse-looking.
Say, I didn't come here to get a lecture on skin culture.
Well, you're getting one. You'd better tell some of your talented new singers about Lux toilet soap. That's what the movie stars use to guard against cosmetic skin.
Hey, listen, that girl can sing, and no director can tell me
Remember,
otherwise.
Joe, the chief himself complained about her complexion. Why, what good is a voice?
Well, maybe you're right.
You're an agent for a lot of other Hollywood women. Ask them. They'll tell you that they use Lux toilet soap regularly, and that its active lather is what keeps their skin so swell.
Well, I'll remember that. And so will the women, I hope.
Back to Mr. DeMille and our play. Spencer Tracy and Fay Ray continue in Arrowsmith. With a keen anticipation of glory still to come, Arrowsmith turns eagerly to his first love, the research laboratory. In the impressive corridors of the famous McGurk Institute, he walks slowly along with his old friend, Dr. Gottlieb. The old man's arm is about his shoulders, and he smiles delightedly at the young scientist.
So, Martin, you found your way back to me, huh? Just as I said you would.
That's right, Dr. Gottlieb.
And you have come on your own feet, too. It was a good piece of work you did with those cows of yours. You have earned your position here. Yeah. And I'm glad. Very glad.
Well, good morning. Good morning. Dr. Arrowsmith, I presume.
Yeah. Arrowsmith, this is Dr. Tubbs, our director.
Oh, how do you do, sir?
How do you do? Allow me to welcome you, Doctor. It's always a pleasure
No, not now, please, Dr. Tubbs. For the moment, you leave my prodigal son to me, huh? I want to show him his laboratory.
Oh, well, of course. Good day, Arrowsmith.
Good day, Dr. Tubbs.
Here, come in, Martin. Well, this is your laboratory.
Say,
You like it, huh?
like it.
This will be better than giving pills, eh, Martin?
Dr. Gottlieb, do you really think I know enough to work here? I mean, I want to succeed, but...
Succeed? Oh, yeah. I know that word. It is a word little schoolboys use. Now, let us be clear, Martin. You will do your own work here and have nobody but yourself to satisfy. You will learn to work twice as hard as you can, and then when you get stuck, well, I have a fine collection of detective stories in my office. Oh, come in, Terry.
Tubbs is looking for Dr. Gottlieb.
Oh, he's mad at me again, eh? Arrowsmith, this is Terry Wickett. He is a roughneck, but a good scientist. You'll like him.
How are you, Arrowsmith?
How are you? Well, see you later, Martin. And now I go and smooth the feathers of our ruffled director.
You brand new, Arrowsmith?
That's right.
Well, what do you think of dear old McGurk?
Well, frankly, I'm very impressed.
Yeah, I was, too. This place was built to impress people. Wait till they start giving receptions for society. You'll love it.
You don't, evidently.
I'm a scientist, not a teacup juggler. But I got my lab and a chance to work by myself. I can put up with almost anything if I got that.
So can I.
You'll be all right, then. Keep plugging, that's all. And don't let Tubbs poke his nose in too much. Well, let me know if I can help you, will you?
Sure, thanks.
See you around.
God, please give me clear eyes and freedom from haste. God, give me anger against all pretense. God, keep me looking for my own mistakes. God, keep me at it till my results are proven.
Martin, what are you doing?
Oh, nothing much. I was just thinking.
Are you ready for dinner yet? Are you ready for dinner? Martin, what's the matter with you? For weeks you've done nothing but sit around and stare at things. It just scares me to death to see you this way.
You won't be scared much longer, Lee.
What do you mean?
I've made up my mind to chuck it before they fire me. I've been at McGurk 2 years, and I haven't accomplished a thing. I'm worse at science than I was at doctoring.
You mustn't say such things, Martin. It's going to be all right. I know it is. Why, for all you know, you may be plumb on the threshold of a great discovery this very minute. I got a kind of feeling that you are. Don't look at me like that. I have. And you'll feel much better after you've eaten your dinner. I bought a wonderful fish this afternoon.
I'm not hungry, Lee.
Neither am I.
I guess I'll go out for a walk.
I'll come along.
In this snow?
Oh, I love snow. We'll hike across the park. It'll be like the Canadian Northwest tonight, Martin. Martin!
Lee, sweet, I forgot you were here.
I was a little behind you. You were walking kind of fast. But I guess you'd be coming here to the lab building.
And you tagged along all this way, you poor kid. I'll call a taxi to take you home.
Oh, no, I don't want a taxi, Martin. Let me come upstairs with you.
I may be late.
I don't care. I won't bother you. I promise you not to open my mouth. Please don't send me home. It's such a scary night. I'll imagine things.
What things?
Oh, things.
All right. Come along.
Martin, I don't want to interrupt, but
what is it?
I thought maybe I could help.
Oh, sure. There's a flask in the incubator, the one on your right. Bring it over, will you?
A flask? I don't see... Oh, I've got it. Is this it, Martin?
Let me see. No, honey, the flask on the right I want.
Well, this one was on the right.
What? Well, it couldn't have been.
Yes, it was. There's only 2 of them there. This one was standing up on the right side
Let me
of the...
see that. Well, that's funny.
What's the matter?
Get out of the way. Here, wait a minute. Get me a clean microscope slide. They're in the top drawer.
A microscope slide? Here.
Now, get out of the light. Stand over there. No, darling, over there.
What is it, Martin? Martin.
Why, it's impossible. It can't be right. It can't be.
What is it?
I don't know. I left this flask chock full of some germs I was working on. They ought to have been doing great. Now they're dead. What killed them?
Well, does it matter?
Does it matter? I'll say it matters. Germs don't commit suicide. Something killed them. Something got into that flask and blew those bugs to pieces. Now, what was it? What was it?
But Martin, suppose it did kill them.
Don't you understand, darling? If it killed one type of germ, it may kill others. It may kill them all. It may even kill... No, I won't throw away my luck. I'll work it out.
Tomorrow,
No,
darling.
tonight and tomorrow night and the night after that. I've got to find out what killed those bugs. Hello?
Martin, what do you mean by getting up so early?
I got to get back to work. Gottlieb's checking my results this morning. I think we've got something, honey, something big. We're calling the stuff bacteriophage. Did I tell you?
You haven't been to sleep for a week. Just look at
Well,
you.
what's the matter with me? I shaved.
I won't have any more of this. Do you hear me? I'm not going to stick around here and watch you kill yourself. I'll walk out on you. I mean it.
Come here. Come here. You mustn't ever say that, no matter how mad you get, Lee. I love you. I know I'm neglecting you, but when this is over, I'll take time off every day, and we'll go to the movies, and we'll have friends in, and I'll send you flowers every morning. I'll even learn to play bridge. Stand by me, Lee.
Oh, darling.
Got any coffee?
Sit down. There's the paper if you want it.
That's the girl.
You certainly have a sneaky little way of getting around me, Martin Arrowsmith. As if I wanted flowers every morning. All I want is to make you take care of yourself. You're a rotten husband. Do you know that? Martin.
Did you see this?
What?
This thing in the paper. Listen to it. Greatest medical discovery of modern times. Young scientist wipes out disease with bacteriophage. Director Tubbs of McGurk Institute interviewed by press.
Why, that's wonderful.
Wonderful.
Look, there's your name. He's giving you full credit.
He's made a fake out of me. That's what he's done. By that cheap publicity hound, he can't do this to me.
Martin, where are you going?
I'm going to see Tubbs.
Wait, I'm going with you.
Give me some more dope, Rick, will you, Dr.
Please, gentlemen, please.
Let me through here. Get out of my way.
Martin, wait.
Good morning, Arrowsmith.
Arrowsmith, hey, how about taking it? I've got nothing to say. I want to speak to you, Dr. Tubbs.
Of course. Excuse us, gentlemen. Come in here, Arrowsmith.
Martin, please. Martin.
Well, and how are you, Mrs. Arrowsmith? Come to share your husband's glory?
There's no glory to share. Are you responsible for this stuff in the papers?
Of course, my boy. I don't deny the responsibility. I claim it. A slight overstatement to catch the public's eye.
A slight overstatement? You tell the papers I can wipe out all disease when you know I haven't even cured whooping cough yet, and you call that a slight overstatement?
I understand your surprise, my dear fellow.
My surprise? I'm only surprised I don't twist your fat neck.
Martin, my husband's a very violent man, Dr. Tubbs.
I know your husband, Mrs. Arrowsmith, and I mean the world to appreciate him as I do. After all, he's still got his name to make.
You made that for me. You made my name smell from one end of this country to the other as a quack and a faker and a racketeer. Now you call those reporters in and you tell them I'm through with you and your front-page science and that I've resigned from your Cheap Jack Institute.
I'd so much rather tell them about the paper I've just signed. That makes you the head of your own department and raises your salary from $5,000 a year to $12,000.
I won't take it. I'm through.
I don't accept your resignation, Martin. I pin my faith on you. I do more than that.
Martin, my boy.
Now, what is it, Dr. Gottlieb? Can't you see we are busy at the moment?
Yes, busy turning my friend Martin into a megaphone.
Don't worry, Dr. Gottlieb.
Something has happened, and something perhaps not altogether bad. Martin is not the discoverer we thought he was.
What? You don't mean someone has stolen a march on us?
Here it is, in the medical journal. A Frenchman, Derel, of the Pasteur Institute in Paris, has just published his report. It is the same thing, Dr. Tubbs. You got into the newspapers too soon. I'm sorry, Martin.
The same thing.
This is most unfortunate. Most. Of course, there can be no talk of a new department now, and no raise in salary either. If you'll excuse me, I'll speak to those reporters.
Yeah, how about let's get a paper here?
You may not be the discoverer of bacteriophage, Martin, but you may still be the man to test it out. Come and see me later in my laboratory. Then we will discuss what further work you still will have to do.
I love that man, Gottlieb. He might have gloated.
Poor Martin.
All I've done these months has been wasted, Lee. You won't get your new flat or any of those things now. It's tough luck being married to a scientist, isn't it?
I haven't minded.
Well, it's over now. Well, I had a lot of fun out of it, anyhow.
Believe me, gentlemen, what I say is true. There is bubonic plague in the West Indies.
Bubonic plague? Well, you should know, Dr. Sandelius.
Yeah, I do know. Already I have spoken to Dr. Tubbs about it. He is anxious for the Institute to send a representative there.
He would be if there's any publicity in it.
Now, please, Terry, just one moment. What do you think, Arrowsmith?
Well, it might be a good chance to test out the bacteriophage.
Yeah. That's what I thought.
Your bacteriophage, Arrowsmith.
It isn't mine, Dr. Sandelius. The discovery belongs to Durrell.
No. I say it again. Your bacteriophage may save the island. That is why you must go there, to the West Indies.
But I don't know anything about bubonic plague.
But I know. I teach you. Get me plague germs. Get me rat. Get me rat fleas. Yeah, fleas. Little yumpy fleas. And I show you what I have learned in China and in India. Yeah, I show you. Then I go with you.
So, you're off tomorrow.
All packed and ready, Dr. Gottlieb.
Taking your wife along, Martin?
Oh, no, of course not. She'd like to go, but that's out.
Good. Sit down. I have called you in here to give you your final instructions, Martin.
Yes, sir?
Can you be trusted, Martin, to perform a little experiment where you are going? Can you be trusted not to let anything, even your good, kind heart, spoil it?
What is the experiment?
Well, you agree that it will be of value in future epidemics to know what this stuff of yours is worth?
Well, yes, of course.
Now, if you could give your injections only to half your patients and sternly deprive the other half of them, then you would know.
I certainly would, but...
That is the experiment we mean.
Oh, I couldn't do that, Dr. Gottlieb.
Why couldn't you?
Sit by and watch half my patients die. It wouldn't be human.
So you're just a country doctor after all.
Country doctor, nothing, but I've got some pity in me. They'll be dying down there. They'll be dying and begging me for help.
Sure they will.
So many men are kind and neighborly, and so few men ever add to human knowledge. You have the chance now, Martin.
But Gottlieb...
I'm an old man, Martin. I've been an honest scientist all my days, but I count on you to carry on my torch after me. Are you going to fail me? Are you, Martin?
No. I won't fail. I'll do my best, Gottlieb.
Your stateroom's this way, Dr. Arrowsmith.
Thank you. Leora, what are you doing?
I wasn't going to come. I tried hard, honestly, I did, Martin. But I couldn't let you go without seeing you off. I can't let you go now. I'm going with you, Martin.
Oh, darling, talk sense. How can you?
I'm just going.
Darling, there's disease down there. Bubonic plague.
You're going. And where you can go, I can go. I belong with you, darling. I can't let you go alone. I'll never see you again, I know it. Oh, Martin, please take me with you.
Leora.
Martin.
Oh, Leora, you crazy little fool.
Oh, Martin, I'm simply going to love the West Indies.
We pause for station identification. This is the Columbia Broadcasting System. Our weekly custom of giving you little inside glimpses of Hollywood between the acts of our play finds us host tonight to a favorite physical director of the stars, Terry Hunt. Now presiding over the gymnasium at United Artists Studio, Terry for 12 years has been keeping the stars in glowing condition.
His subjects have included Marlene Dietrich, Mary Pickford, Clark Gable, Jeanette MacDonald, Norma Shearer, and Paul Muni. Gary Cooper and Frederick March take orders from him daily. People are always interested in superlatives, Terry. So from your observation, who physically is the most perfect among the women stars?
That's a little too tough to answer, Mr. DeMille. But I can name certain stars who, in my opinion, have at least one feature which you could call perfect. Just put them all together and you've got something.
You mean a composite picture? Made up of what? From whom?
Well, I'd say this mythical girl would have the carriage of Norma Shearer, the face of Virginia Bruce or Joan Bennett, the eyes of Claudette Colbert, and the shoulders of Fay Ray. She'd have the figure of Ginger Rogers, the neckline of Merle Oberon, and the torso of Jean Parker or Carol Lombard. She'd also have the legs of Marlene Dietrich and the hands of Dorothy L'Amour. Now, the odd part about all this is that most of the beautiful features I've mentioned can be developed. A woman who pays attention to her diet, who exercises regularly, gets enough rest, and who otherwise takes care of her appearance can be just as attractive as the women on the screen.
And what's your particular prescription for exercising?
Based on my work with the stars, I have found that posture and reducing exercises bring the best results for women. I prefer the twisting, rolling, and stretching routines, and, provided the subject has a strong heart, jumping rope. For years, I've advocated extreme cleanliness of the skin, and the most healthful and enjoyable way of obtaining it is to take a shower with plenty of soap. Not just a hot or a cold shower, but both. I've used many soaps to find the best, and I'm glad to say that Lux Toilet Soap is not only my choice, but that of the stars as well. The kind of shower I've suggested, with a heavy, rich lather of Lux soap, will not only thoroughly clean your skin, but will aid in preventing you from getting stiff.
Now, Frederick March tells me that every morning before reporting to the set of The Buccaneer, you come to his home and put him through his setting-up exercises. My thanks for keeping him as fit as Lafitte, the pirate whose part he plays.
Mr. March is a perfect contradiction to the reports you sometimes hear that Hollywood stars live a life of ease and indolence. When making a picture, he's up every morning at 6 o'clock and goes through at least 45 minutes of real training before breakfast. I wish everyone could get a look at the stars in a gymnasium. You'd all realize how seriously they really work to keep physically fit. And now, if you think I can be of any help in telling you more about health through exercises, I'll be glad to answer your questions as best I can and without charge. If you'll address me, Terry Hunt at United Artists Studios, Hollywood, just send a stamped, self-addressed envelope. Thank you.
Thank you, Terry. Back to the story of Arrowsmith, starring Spencer Tracy and Fay Ray. The town of Blackwater in the West Indian tropics. In a tiny bamboo hut on the edge of the town, Leora waits alone for Arrowsmith to return. From outside is heard the dismal wailing of the natives, praying vainly for release from the plague. Suddenly the door is flung open, and Arrowsmith enters.
Well, Martin? Well?
It's a bust. The authorities won't let me try my experiment. They say it's inhuman.
What are you going to do?
I'm clearing out, Lee. Get my stuff packed, will you?
But where are you going?
There's a tiny island about 20 miles across the bay, the island of Carib. It's all native and plague raging like wildfire. I'll have a free hand there. Come on, hurry up, will you, darling?
Martin.
What?
You're not planning to leave me behind.
Oh, Lee, sweet, I've got to.
I didn't come here to be left behind, Martin.
You're not afraid?
Certainly I'm afraid. I'm scared blue. But that isn't the point. I came down here to look after you.
I'll be all right.
How do I know that? It might get you, and if it did, nobody but I could nurse you. And even if it didn't get you, I'd go mad not being with you. Oh, don't you see? I haven't any life outside of you. I've got to be with you. Always.
Be reasonable, Lee, darling. I don't know where we'll be living or what we'll get into. I can't take you along out there. It's no place for a woman. Now, if I'd known you were going to behave like this, I'd have choked you before I let you come.
You did everything else but choke me. Oh, all right. Darn being a woman.
That's the girl. Give me the comfort of knowing that you're all right. Now, come on, pack the stuff, will you?
Yes, Martin.
This is only the first of our big hikes, Lee. If I can pull this stunt off, I'll be a big man in science. Then we'll go to Europe, Lee. To your France and Italy and all those places. Where do you see? Our life's just beginning, Lee.
Oh, Martin. I do love you, darling.
2 lines there. Keep them in 2 lines, Sandelius.
2 lines. 2 lines. Ah, what a place this is, Martin. They don't even understand what I'm talking about.
We've got to make them understand. We'll inject the phage in the line on the right. You keep swabbing their arms and passing them up to me. The line on the left does without the injection.
Poor beggar.
Now, there's no time for sentiment. Come on.
Number 1.
1.
2.
Wait a minute. 2.
3.
3.
4. Stay in line. Stay in line. 110. 111.
Easy. 110, Sandelius. 111. Keep them coming, man.
112.
100 and... Oh,
How do you do?
I didn't know there was a white woman on the island.
I'm Joyce Lanyon.
Oh, yes?
You might have seen Mr. Twyford's house on the hill up there. I'm visiting with his daughter.
You don't belong here, then?
Hardly. I'm from New York. Well, do I get your injection or don't I? I'll get on the other line if you like.
Stay where you are.
Thank you. I wish you'd find something I could do to help you.
You?
I know what you're doing here, this experiment. I think it's marvelous.
Well, perhaps you wouldn't if you were on the other line.
That's not very fair. I volunteered to do that.
I'm sorry.
Then let me help. Do I strike you as so hopelessly useless?
I think if I had a twin sister, she'd be just like you. That's how you strike me.
That's an original compliment.
It's no compliment. It's a scientific fact. Now move along, please, and give science a chance to carry on. All right, Sandelius, pass them up. Sandelius.
Yeah, Martin.
What's the matter?
I don't know. I think maybe I'm sick, Martin.
Good God.
Yeah. Now maybe I take some of your injection, too.
Catch him. Catch him there. Sandelius. I think it was his whole life. He used to troop all over the country lecturing on the heroes of health. Poor Sandelius. He's one of them himself now.
You took it pretty calmly.
If one of your field officers dies in battle, you can't stop to mourn for him. You've got to carry on.
And you did. Wonderfully. All these long days. All by yourself.
I had you to help me.
We better go in now.
No, not yet, Joyce. I'm too excited to turn in yet. Don't you see, my life had its first great climax today. The experiment. All our troubles are over now. I know that's a very unscientific boast. Just for tonight, though, I can't help believing it.
And I can't help believing that anything ever happened before this place. Or that anything will ever happen after it.
Steady, Joyce. Don't lose your nerve. You're too gallant for that.
How wrong you are. There's nothing gallant about me. I was never meant for this sort of thing. I've never learned about realities.
But the way you stood by me in the face of danger, disease.
That wasn't gallantry. That was just hysteria. Hysteria over falling in love with you, Martin.
What?
I have fallen terribly, insanely in love with you.
But you don't mean that.
I don't believe in mincing words. I don't believe in not saying what's on my mind. I know there's nothing to be done about it. I'm not a child. But I was unhappy when I came here. I'm not unhappy anymore. That's something, isn't it?
I've never learned about women like you. You belong to the great class of things I've had to give up for my work. You make my life seem suddenly rather empty, but very exciting.
You're too heroic to mean that. You're stone.
I wish I were.
Do you? You're finished here now, aren't you? You'll be leaving soon.
I should, of course, but it might be a good idea to stick around for a while. See how the experiment turns out.
How long would that take, Martin?
I'm not sure. 10 days, perhaps.
10 days. I'm glad, Martin.
I think I...
Hello? Yes, this is Karib. Twyford speaking. Who? I can't hear you. Who? Oh, just a moment, please. Arrowsmith? Dr. Arrowsmith. Just a moment, please. What's that?
What's the matter, Twyford?
I can't make out. It's Blackwater calling you.
Blackwater, give me the phone.
What is it, Martin?
Hello? Hello? Who is this? Leora? What's the matter, darling? What? Leora, I can't hear you. You'll have to speak louder. What is... Leora, listen to me. Listen, darling. Hello, darling. Leora, hello. Hello. Oh, God.
What is it?
My wife, she's sick.
But...
I've got to get to her. She's alone, all alone, and she's sick. Is there a launch here?
I can take you.
How soon?
Right away.
Come on, then. Hurry.
Hello? Hello? I'm trying to call Kareem again. Can't you call it for me? Hello? Operator? They must answer. They must. Oh, please. Oh, Martin, why don't you come to me? I tried not to cry, but I'm afraid, Martin. I don't want to die alone. You will come. I know you will. Oh, but hurry. Please hurry, Martin. Help me. Oh, Martin. Where are you? Where are you, Martin?
Leora. Oh, God. Leora, look at me. Leora.
Is she all right?
She's dead.
Oh. Well, hadn't we better pick her up?
Yes.
I'll help you.
No, I'd rather do it alone. You see? She hardly weighs anything. Oh, Lee, darling, I loved you. You knew that, didn't you? You knew I couldn't have loved anyone else. Didn't you know that, Lee? But now you're gone. This thing I've been fighting has killed you, too. But it won't kill anymore, Lee, darling. I promise you that. It won't kill anymore. I'll shoot them all full of serum, all of them. I can save them all. I can save everyone. Everyone except you, my darling. But me.
McGurk Institute.
At once.
One moment,
Miss, when are we going to see
The
Dr.
line's busy.
Arrowsmith?
Dr. Arrowsmith has just returned, and he's too busy to see anybody today.
Some sort of a statement. Really, we must see Dr. Arrowsmith. Just a moment. Hello, Martin.
Oh, hello, Terry.
Thought I'd find you in the lab. We heard about your wife. Sorry, fellow.
Thanks, Terry.
Well, how'd it go down there?
Pretty bad. I bungled it, Terry.
I was afraid you had. Stubbs doesn't seem to think so.
Well, he wouldn't know. I lost my head, gave everybody the serum. I wonder what Gottlieb will say.
Nothing.
He gave me everything I knew. He gave me my chance, and I failed him. Whatever I accomplished down there, I failed him. I didn't add to knowledge. I did the humane thing. I lost sight of science. I hope he throws me out.
He won't, Martin. He'll never know you failed him.
What do you mean?
He cracked up, went to pieces. Too much work, I guess. He doesn't understand anything now.
Gottlieb. Then he's gone, too. There's not much left, is there?
There's still research, Martin. There's work still to be done.
Ah, here you are, Martin. The reporters are waiting to see you.
Are they?
Is there anything wrong?
I just told him about Gottlieb.
Ah, yes. Very unfortunate. But we've a man to take his place, thank heaven. You, Arrowsmith. Does that surprise you? Well, from now on, you're a department head with a salary of $15,000 a year. I guess that'll buck you up.
I guess it won't. You can take it if you want, Arrowsmith, but I came in here to tell you what I was going to do. I'm going to clear out of this swell joint with all its swell equipment and publicity and build my own lab in the Vermont woods and really get something done for a change.
Your own lab?
Sure. What do you say? Is it a go?
Martin.
Joyce.
You didn't expect to see me here, did you? Do you think I'd have missed welcoming you home?
Thanks, but...
I know how it is, Martin. I heard everything. But I helped you once. I thought perhaps I could help you again.
You're sweet, Joyce. Thank you.
Well, I guess this lets me out.
Wait. Joyce, I'm sorry I can't accept your offer. No, yours either, Tubbs. You can keep your department head. You can keep your glory. And you can see those reporters yourself. Tell them I'm not what they think I am. See, I'm a bust, a failure, a washout. But I'm not licked yet. I'll do something for science if it kills me, but I can't do it here. Gottlieb said a man could build a lab from a bottle and a piece of string, and that's what I'm going to do. Come on, Terry. I'm going with you. Lee and I, we're both going with you.
Do not let yourselves be tainted by skepticism. Live in the serene peace of laboratories. Say to yourselves first, what have I done for my instruction? What have I done for my country? Until the time comes when you may have the immense happiness of thinking that you have contributed in some way to the progress and good of humanity. With these words of Louis Pasteur, we ring down the curtain on Arrowsmith. As a fitting afterpiece to our drama, and before Spencer Tracy and Fay Ray return, let us look into a scene that happened in real life, a scene that serves to introduce our next guest. The year is 1900. The place, the town of Quemados in Cuba, infested with a deadly plague that's killed more American soldiers than fell in the Spanish-American War. Two men stand in a room facing Dr. Walter Reed. They are Private John R. Kissinger of Ohio and John J. Moran, a civilian clerk, who've come to answer Dr. Reed's call for volunteers. Reed has told them of the horrors they'll face, that their chance of coming out alive is 1 in 5. He's also told them their only reward would amount to about $300. Private Kissinger answers him. The one condition, sir, on which we volunteer is that we get no compensation for it. Dr. Reed looks at them in silence. Slowly, his hand goes to his cap. He has only 4 words to say. Gentlemen, I salute you. This was the scene that marked the real beginning of Dr. Reed's work in showing how the dread plague of fever can be banished from humanity. Tonight, the unsung hero who helped make that possible is with us. I'm proud to present the former private, John R. Kissinger. Like the Dr. Arrowsmith of our play, Walter Reed was faced with the terrible truth that any successful experiment would have to be made on human beings. Why couldn't he have used animals, Mr. Kissinger?
Because all animals are immune to yellow fever. They discovered this about the same time that Dr. Fenley brought out the theory that yellow fever was carried by mosquitoes, yellowjack.
Yes, up until then it was thought that the yellow fever was contagious, that you'd catch it merely through contact with its victims.
And the only way Dr. Reed could prove that this was false was to take the mosquito, let them bite normal human beings, and watch the result.
And just what happened to you, Mr. Kissinger?
Well, Dr. Reed's associate came into my room with 5 mosquitoes, specially selected. 2 of them had bitten men who had recently died. They applied them to me, and I was bitten 3 times. 5 days later, I had yellow fever.
And it was the result of that experiment on you that convinced Dr. Reed he was on the right track at last?
I guess that's right. Others went through Same experiments later on. Some died and some lived. But Dr. Reed proved to the world that yellow fever was caused by a certain type of mosquito.
And that type of mosquito is now being driven from the earth to destroy yellow fever forever. But tell me truthfully, just before those mosquitoes laden with yellow death bit you, weren't you tempted to change your mind about being a volunteer?
I had seen my comrades die from it, Mr. DeMille, and I knew exactly what I was in for. My thoughts then are my thoughts now, that a man is lucky to be able to die for the cause of humanity. Thank you.
I salute you, Mr. Ladies and gentlemen, Spencer Tracy and Fay Ray.
My thanks to you, Mr. DeMille, and to the sponsors of this program for their wonderful complexion care, Lux Toilet Soap. Like most actresses, I've used it constantly for many years because, in my opinion, there's nothing better for keeping the skin smooth and fresh and clear. And Spencer, I want to tell you what a pleasure it was playing opposite you tonight. You know, it would seem that you're the favorite doctor of the Lux Radio Theater. Each time you've been here, you've played an MD.
Well, there is no profession I respect more, Faye, and none that has more real drama. You know what a lot of us seem to overlook is the fact that the work made famous by men like Pasteur and Reed, by William Harvey and Jenner and Perret, still goes on in laboratories all over the world. Look what's happened in the last few years. Pernicious anemia has been beaten by two young doctors who found a wonderful remedy in liver. And out of the dirt and filth of sewers, mind you, has been found a bacteriophage that has revolutionized the treatment of staphylococcal infections. And at this moment, in quiet corners, men are bent over their microscopes in a struggle that may go on for years, but undoubtedly will someday see the ends of colds and of cancer and infantile paralysis. In a world where so much is measured by power and wealth, where destruction is still practiced and tolerated, what a source of comfort it is to know that some great minds still think great thoughts, how to help humanity.
Yes. The world stands still without medicine, without unselfishness. Not all of us can be Arrowsmiths, but we can and should make our little sacrifices for the common good.
Which leads me to an announcement our sponsors join me in making for the annual mobilization of human needs. This is a national drive for the support of hundreds of welfare organizations throughout our country. Funds are necessary to care for the needy, and only through your individual contributions can the money be raised to continue the good work. So we ask that you give your support, and remember that your contribution may mean new life to a man, to a woman, or to a helpless child. Be a good neighbor and send your donation to your local community chest.
I'm sure our entire audience will do their utmost, Mr. DeMille. And now, good night.
Good night, C.B.
Good night, Faye. Good night, Faye. Melodrama comes to our microphone next Monday night. In the story of a girl and the three men she loved. One is her father, a famous criminal lawyer. One is her fiancé. And the third, a man outside the pale of society. It's a play that ran with great success on Broadway and the screen. A Free Soul. As the girl, brought up to do whatever she thinks is right, regardless of public opinion, we bring you Ginger Rogers. And starring with her, Donna Michi and Charles Winninger. Our sponsors, the makers of Lux Toilet Soap, join me in inviting you to be with us again next Monday night when the Lux Radio Theater presents Ginger Rogers, Charles Winninger, and Donna Michi in A Free Soul. This is Cecil B. DeMille saying good night to you from Hollywood.
The announcer has been Melville Ruick. This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.
You've just heard the Lux Radio Theater production of Arrowsmith here on Starbuck Presents. Thank you for listening to Antiquity Radio. Up next, we have a classic tale of obsession as presented by NBC University Theater, Moby Dick. NBC University Theater is an unusual series that focused on reenacting novels by great authors for college classes. Many accredited American universities such as Washington State College, University of Louisville, and the University of Tulsa use this dramatic series as a supplement to correspond college courses. The series' creators made study guides to accompany the courses. Students studying great literature by Steinbeck, Faulkner, Hemingway, Huxley, and many others listen to these shows every week. It was an ambitious series that remained popular despite its academic and non-commercial appeal. The shows are high quality and will please many fans of great literature. This version of the Herman Melville classic Moby Dick stars Henry Hull in this tale of a man's obsession with the destruction of the white whale. Thank you so much for listening to Antiquity Radio. Here's NBC University Theater with Moby Dick.
This is the NBC University Theater, bringing you a full-hour dramatization of Herman Melville's classic story of the sea, Moby Dick, starring Mr. Henry Hull as Ahab. We bring you a story of the whaling vessel Pequod and of the men who sailed her in pursuit of the white whale Moby Dick. We bring you one of the richest classics in American literature, with roots in New Bedford and Nantucket and in the whaling grounds. A story of a man obsessed and a man destroyed. And to play the part of the mad Captain Ahab, we bring you one of America's ablest actors, Mr. Henry Hull. Here now is Moby Dick.
Oh, Shenandoah, I love to hear you away the rolling river. Oh, Shenandoah, I long to hear you away. I'm bound to go across the wide Missouri.
Call me Ishmael. Some years ago, having little or no money in my purse and nothing to interest me on shore, I thought I'd sail about a little and see the watery part of the world. Whenever I find myself growing grim about the mouth, whenever it is a damp, drizzly November in my soul, then I count it high time to get to sea as soon as I can. For there's magic in the sea, and all men know that water and meditation are wedded forever. Nantucket Island. There went I to ship aboard a whaling vessel, down to the wharves where the whaling ship Pequod lay snug against the quay. She was small, long-seasoned, and weather-stained in the typhoons and calms of all four oceans. A noble craft, but somehow a most melancholy one.
Oh, when I was a little boy, or so my mother told me, we'll haul away, Joe. That if I didn't kiss the girls, my lips would grow all moldy. We'll haul away, Joe.
I climbed up on the deck, and there I spied a man all brown and brawny like most old seamen. He talked with the antique speech of the Nantucket Quaker brethren, and his eyes were set about with wrinkles and scowls from a lifetime of looking to windward in continuing gales.
Well, man, what would they?
Is this the captain of the Pequod?
Supposing it to be. What then?
Well, sir, I was thinking of shipping.
Thou wast thou? But flukes, man. What makes you want to go whaling?
Sir, I want to see what whaling is. I want to see the world.
Want to see what whaling is, then? Have you clapped an eye on Captain Ahab?
Oh, are you not the ship's captain?
Nay, I be Captain Peleg, the owner. You clap your eye on Ahab, and thou will find he has but one leg.
His leg was lost at sea?
Devoured, chewed up, crunched by the monstrous Parmaceti whale that ever chipped a boat. So now, would you still go a-whaling? Art thou the man to pitch a harpoon down a live whale's throat and then jump after it?
I'm still bound to make the voyage, sir.
Aye, then thou mayest as well sign the book. 3 years it is. 3 years at sea.
I know. There. Signed for the voyage. Now, if I may see Captain Ahab.
What dost thou want of Ahab? He's a good man. Not a pious man, but a swearing good man. And yet, since that last cursed voyage when he lost his leg by that devil whale, he's been moody. Desperate moody and savage.
Well, it was a cruel loss.
Now canst not see Ahab now, but be forewarned. Ahab's above the common. He's Ahab, boy. And Ahab of old, thou knowest, was a crowned king.
Now there was a great activity aboard the Pequod. Sails coming on board, coils of rigging, boats, spars, lines, harpoons. For a whaling ship demands a 3-year stock of spares aboard, for she frequents lonely seas without hospitable harbors. Then, when the last supplies were laid away in the deep hold...
Mr. Starbuck.
Aye, sir?
I'll go ashore now. Luck to you, Starbuck. This day, 3 years from now, I'll have a hot supper smoking for you in old Nantucket.
Goodbye, Captain Peleg. Now, strike the gangway. Man the captain there. Jump now. Spring, blast you, spring. Up anchor, man, and away. Here's Shiny Man.
Aye, sir.
A good rhyme to heave to. Spring, blast you.
We'll man the good captain and run it around. Way-ree-o. We'll heave up the anchor to this jolly song. For we're bound for the Rio Grande. Then fare ye well, my bonny young girls. For we're bound for the Rio Grande.
Now the ship was under the charge of the mates, for Captain Ahab stayed below hatches as we sailed south along the coast.
Well off there, spring, man, spring!
Chief among these was Starbuck, a native of Nantucket and a Quaker. A steadfast man, an honest man, with a deep natural reverence. Courageous, but no crusader after perils.
I will have no man in my boat who is not afraid of a whale. A fearless man is more dangerous than a coward.
The second mate was Stubb, a Cape Cod man and cheerful. He presided over his whaleboat as if the most deadly encounter were but a dinner, and his crew invited guests. Now, south we sailed, leaving the merciless winter behind us. Then came a lowering, gray, gloomy morning. And as I mounted on the deck at call of the forenoon watch, there on the quarterdeck, his form black against the graying sky, stood Captain Ahab.
Starbuck! Mr. Starbuck!
Aye, Captain?
Send everybody aft.
The whole ship's company, sir?
Aye, send everybody aft. Mastheads aloft, come down!
Aft! Aft! All hands aft! There you stumps now. Jump, you lazy codfishes. All men here, Captain.
Now, men, do you see this Spanish ounce of gold? Aye, pure gold. See it gleams in the sun, men, like heaven itself. Starbuck, hand me your hammer.
Aye, sir.
Now, I'll nail it to the mast. Listen well. Whosoever ye raises me a white-headed whale with a wrinkled brow and a crooked jaw, whosoever of you raises me that white whale with 3 holes punctured in his starboard fluke, then he shall have this ounce of Spanish gold. A white whale, men, skin your eyes for him. Look sharp for white water. If you see but a bubble, sing out.
Captain Ahab, that white whale must be the same that some call Moby Dick.
Aye, Moby Dick. Do you know the white whale, then?
Does he fantail a little curious before he go down?
Has he a bushy spout and mighty quick?
With 3 harpoon irons all twisted round in him.
Aye, the harpoons lie all twisted and wrenched in him. Death and devils, men. It is Moby Dick you've seen. Moby Dick. Him that sheared off my leg. Him that dismasted me. I'll chase him round Good Hope and round the Horn and round the Norway Maelstrom and round Perdition's Flame. That's what you've shipped for, men. To chase that white whale across the sea till he spouts black blood and rolls fin out. What say you, men? Will you splice hands on it?
Aye, a sharp eye for the white whale.
A sharp lance for Moby Dick.
Good. Go draw the great measure of grog. Grog for all hands this day. What's his long face about, Mr. Starbuck? Will thou not chase the white whale?
Nay, Captain Ahab.
How many barrels of sperm oil will thy vengeance yield thee in Nantucket market?
Money's not the measure, Starbuck.
Vengeance on a dumb brute that smote thee from blindest instinct. Madness, Captain Ahab. Blasphemy.
Starbuck, each thing on earth is but a mask. And how is man to be free unless he pierce that mask? Break through the wall. To me, that white whale's the wall across my soul. What if there's naught beyond it? I see in him outrageous strength, inscrutable malice. That thing unknown, that's what I hate. Talk not of blasphemy to me. I'd strike the son if it insulted me.
Not so, Captain.
Take off thine ire, Miss Starbuck. So thou palest. My heat has melted thee to anger glow. Starbuck, now is mine. Thou canst not oppose me now without rebellion. Drink, men, drink deep death to Moby Dick. Swear me his death, ye harpooners.
God keep me. God keep us all.
Through the days and nights, mad Ahab brooded on the deck, his soul reaching greedily for the wavering call from the masthead that would signal sight of Moby Dick. He piled upon the whale's white hump the sum of all the general rage and hate felt by his race from Adam down, and then he burst his hot heart shell upon it. Now it was a cloudy, sultry afternoon. High aloft in the cross trees was Tashtego, the gay-head Indian harpooner, scanning the desert of water for the mist spout of the sperm whale. Suddenly, from the clouds, his voice soared and dropped like a plummet.
There she blows! She blows!
Where away?
On the lee beam, 2 miles off, a school of them. They'll go flukes!
Stand by to lower boats! Spring! Jump, blast it! Let go the davit! Straight, you molly-livered! Boy, fetch the captain.
I'm on deck, Mr. Starbuck. I'll take the first boat.
But the captain keeps the ship.
Not this one. I'll be first to sink a harpoon in any whale.
But it's not Moby Dick, sir.
Nay, but each heart that spills black blood takes me nearer to him. Lower me a boat, Mr. Sub. Get that boat to water, Starbuck.
Aye, sir. Lower away!
Away, Mr. Starbuck, spread out. Give way to Lord. Keep the boat separate.
Aye, sir. Now, out oars. Now, pull. Lay back. Pull. She blows again, dead ahead. Pull. Pull. Fight. Fight into the water. Start out your eyes. Spring. Spring. It's not the white whale, but the sperm oil and profit. That's the chase. Wait. Give over rowing. He's sounded. Now, Queequeg, stand up. Spy me out that whale. Sing out if you see but the shadow of a bubble.
Aye, sir. Heave down to bottom.
There she blows in not 50 paces. Pull now. Pull. Roar and pull, my thunderbolts. Pull till you burst your hearts and your livers. There, now, give way. We're on him. Steady. Now, Queequeg, stand up. Harpoon ready?
Aye, sir.
Now, that's his hump. Give it to him. Start all for your lives. He started. What's the line? Wet it, man. Wet it down. Haul in, men. Haul in. Ha! We're off on a Nantucket sleigh ride.
Through the whirling foam of the sea, the monster towed the frail boat. And then, hauling in close, Starbuck churned his long razor lance into the fish. And at last, gush after gush of clotted red gore, warm blood like our own for all his 70 feet of length, shot into the frightened air, and falling back, ran down his flanks into the sea. His heart had burst.
He spout black blood, Mr. Starbuck.
Aye. He'll spout no more. He's dead.
But now our monster corpse must needs be dragged back through the pounding waves to the Pequod. Hour after weary hour, the men strained the long oak oars, towing the slaughtered Leviathan through the sea till long after the sun dropped from the sky. 3 lanterns tied to the Pequod's mastheads were our star, and through the night we toiled until the whale lay chained by the head to the ship's stern and by the flukes to the bow.
Louis was the king of France before the Revolution. We'll haul away, Joe, until he had his head cut off, which spoiled his constitution. We'll haul away, Joe.
The next day was the Sabbath, but whalers are notorious Sabbath breakers, and soon the enormous cutting tackles and blocks were hoisted to the maintop. The chains are run to the capstan amidships, and the blubber hook rammed into the bleeding, oily hide of the sea monster.
All right, aboard there. Take her away. Heave!
Because they have no comb. Heave away, heave away. They comb their hair with codfish bones. Heave away, my bully, bully boys. Heave away, heave away. Heave away, my bully, bully boys. We are bound for Australia. We are bound for Australia.
The ship heels over as the tackle takes up the strain. Then, with a swift snap, the strip of blubber rises into the air, peeled off the revolving whale like the skin of an orange. Hoisted aloft, then dropped into the yawning hatches below to the blubber room. All the day goes this weary work, and by the light of smoking lanterns, into the night.
All in the chains. Let the carcass go astern.
The peeled white body of the beheaded whale floats slowly astern, the water round it torn and splashed by insatiate sharks, and the air above vexed by the flights of screaming seafowl. Beneath the unclouded azure sky on the fair face of the pleasant sea, the great mass of death floats on and on, till lost in infinite perspective. Now only the giant head hangs from the Pequod's yards, half dipped in the sea. Silence reigns over the deserted deck. An intense copper calm unfolds its noiseless leaves over the ocean. Ahab stands alone upon the quarterdeck, his mad eye fixed upon the black and hooded head.
Speak. Speak, thou vast and venerable head. Speak, mighty head, and tell us the secret thing that is in thee. Of all divers thou hast dived the deepest, where unrecorded names and navies rot. There in that awful waterland was thy most familiar home. Thou hast slept by many a sailor's side, where sleepless mothers would give their lives to lay them down. Oh, head, thou hast seen enough to split the planets and make an infidel of Abraham, and not one syllable is thine.
Sail ho! Sail ho!
Where away?
3 points on the starboard bow.
Aye, Captain. A whaler by the look of her, and bringing down her breeze to us.
Look at her broad beams, Starbuck, where the whale boats are swung.
Aye, Captain. Shattered boats. Splintered planks like the skeleton of a horse.
An omen, Starbuck. Down helm, we'll hail the vessel.
Ahoy, the Delight!
Ahoy, the Pequod!
Has seen the white whale.
Moby Dick! Do you see the shattered whale boat on the beams? Aye, we've seen Moby Dick.
Hast killed him.
The harpoon is not forged that will ever do that.
You lie! Look, you Nantucketer. Here in this arm I hold his death. I swear to plunge harpoon in that place behind the fin where the white whale most feels his accursed life.
Then God keep the old man.
Where away the white whale?
10 leagues hence, north and northeast.
Brace forward, Starbuck. Up helm.
Captain, the oil in the hold is leaking.
So?
We must up hatches and break out the cask.
Up hatches and break out?
Aye.
Moby Dick is sighted. Would you have us heave to here for a week to tinker a parcel of old hoops?
Either do that, sir, or waste in one day more oil than we can hope to make good in a year.
Let it leak. Soul's hull leaks. Yet I don't stop to plug it. But who can find it in a deep-loaded hull or hope to mend it in life's howling gale? Starbuck I'll not heave to.
What will the owners say, sir?
Let the owners stand on Nantucket Beach and out yell the typhoon. Owners! Owners!
But, sir, the
Look
owner...
here. The only real owner of anything is its commander. And hark ye, my conscience is in this ship's keel. Down, dog, to kennel.
Captain Ahab, a better man than I might well pass over in thee what he would quickly enough resent in a younger man. Aye, and in a happier.
Devils! Dost thou then so much as dare to question me? Be gone.
Nay, sir, not yet. I do entreat. Shall we not understand each other better, Captain Ahab?
Starbuck, seest thou this pistol?
Captain.
There is one God that is Lord over the earth, and there is one captain that's Lord over the Pequod.
Nay, put up thy pistol, Captain. Thou hast outraged, not insulted me. But for that I ask thee not to beware of Starbuck. Thou wouldst laugh. But let Ahab beware of Ahab. Beware of thyself, old man.
Brave Starbuck, brave. Yet still obey. Most careful bravery, that. Ahab, beware of Ahab, aye. There's something there. But Moby Dick is sighted. The whale within my grasp at last. I'll clutch his heart and see him spout black blood. Unfurl the topgallant. Shake out the reefs. We sail for Moby Dick.
Now into the green Pacific, the mastheads crying out at every spout. Lower away, black blood and flukes. And then the butchery of cutting in. The shrouds were sooted with the smoke of the tripods as the blubber passed through the fire to the oil casks. Oh, think of that, ye landsmen, when you burn your lamps. Think of the whaler in the icy sea facing death in combat with the monsters of the unknown deeps. Think well and count the oil you burn, more precious than the rarest jewel. Now, on the quarterdeck, old Ahab paces, his ivory leg echoing sharply in the cabin beneath. And in the sunset, it seemed as if his brain beat hard against a steel skull.
Try heat upon my brow. Oh, time was when, as the sunrise nobly spurred me, so the sunset soothed. But no more. His lovely light, it lights me not. All loveliness is anguish to me, since I ne'er can enjoy. Gifted with a high perception, I lack the low enjoying power. Damned most subtly and most malignantly, damned in the midst of paradise. I thought to find one stubborn at the least, but they take fire from me in search of Moby Dick. Oh, hard, that to fire others the match itself must needs be wasting. What I've dared, I've willed. They think me mad, but I am demoniac, madness maddened. You cannot swerve me, Starbuck, nay. The path to my fixed purpose is laid with iron rails, whereon my soul is grooved to run. Moby Dick, Moby Dick, the monster whale of awesome white. Yet will I see thee roll fin out. Yet will I clutch thy heart. Mr. Starbuck, down helm. We sail for Moby Dick.
From Hollywood, the NBC University Theater is bringing you Henry Hull in a radio version of the Herman Melville novel Moby Dick. This play is part of a series devoted to the classic novels of Anglo-American literature. If you were interested in supplementing your enjoyment of these productions with home study under college supervision, be sure to listen to the announcement at the close of this program. Today, in place of the intermission commentary normally heard on NBC University Theater, we bring you a special message from Dr. John W. Taylor, President of the University of Louisville. Here now is Dr. Taylor speaking from Louisville, Kentucky.
During the past 8 months, more than 5,000 listeners to NBC's University Theater from every state in the Union have worked and worked hard as students enrolled in the radio-assisted correspondence course in Anglo-American fiction offered by the College of Arts and Sciences at the University of Louisville. Some of these students are working for credit toward a college degree, others for self-enrichment and self-advancement. I am here today to congratulate the first 50 students from throughout the nation who have completed their work in this course and passed their final examinations. Students registered for credit have received certificates of performance, equivalent to those granted students who are regularly registered and in residence at the University of Louisville. May I specially congratulate the 3 students who, because of their exceptional diligence in carrying out the correspondence work, have achieved the highest grades in this group. These students are, first, Mrs. Olive Olcher, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Second, Mrs. Beulah Cadwell, Dinuba, California. And third, Miss Gilda Green, Providence, Rhode Island. And in recognition of outstanding scholastic achievement, each of these students is being awarded a set of the Encyclopedia Britannica. It is my firm belief that only by bringing college education into the homes of the people through radio, supplemented by correspondence between the student at home and the instructor at the university, can millions of Americans for whom the facilities of a university are not easily available secure an education at the college level. For this reason, NBC's College by Radio courses, developed in cooperation with the University of Louisville and now in operation at Washington State College, the University of Tulsa, the University of Southern California, the University of Chicago, and Kansas State Teachers College, have created an important milestone in the history of American education. I know that every listener joins me in thanking the National Broadcasting Company for this outstanding public service.
Thank you, Dr. Taylor. Our dramatization continues from Hollywood after a brief pause for station identification.
Shenandoah, I love to hear you. Away, rolling river. Oh, Shenandoah, I long to hear you. Away, I'm bound to go. Cross the wide
And now, in the summer cool weather of the Pacific, Perth, the blacksmith, begrimed and blistered, set up his forge on deck, lashed to ring bolts by the foremast. And surrounded by an eager circle, he mended boat spades, pike heads, harpoons, and lances.
Blacksmith? Blacksmith!
Aye, Captain.
What wert thou making there?
Welding an old pike head, sir. There were seams and dents in it.
And canst thou make all smooth again, blacksmith, after such hard usage as it had?
I think so, sir.
Thou canst smooth seams and dents, no mind how hard the metal?
Aye, sir. All seams and dents but one.
Looky here, then. Here. Can you smooth out this ribbed seam of madness in my brow? Huh? If thou couldst, blacksmith, glad enough would I lay my head upon thy anvil and feel thy heaviest hammer between my eyes. Answer, canst thou smooth this seam?
Nay, Captain. That is the one dent that defies blacksmith's hammer.
I suppose. It is unspeakable. For though thou seest it here in my flesh, it is worked into the bone of my skull, deep, deep. But no more pikes and gaffs today, blacksmith. Look ye here. The gathered nail stubs of steel-shoed racing horses.
Oh, Captain, thou hast here the best and stubbornest stuff we blacksmiths ever worked.
Aye, Perth. And from these thou must forge me a harpoon. One that 1,000 yoke of fiends couldn't part. A blade that will stick in a whale like his own fin bone.
Captain, is this harpoon, then, for Moby Dick?
Aye, blacksmith. Forge this blade, and I will have his life and spill his blood into the sea. Now, blow up thy fire and hammer, man, hammer! Forge me my harpoon!
'Tis done, Captain. It needs but tempering. Would you pass yon water cask?
No. No water for that. I wanted of the true death temper. Ahoy there, Testigo! Queequeg! Ahoy, you pagan harpooners!
Aye, Captain.
Aye, Captain.
What say ye? Will you give me enough blood to cover this barb?
Blood?
Blood, aye, blood. For a blade as sharp as the needle sleet of an icy sea. Blood, man, are you willing?
Aye, Captain, I'm willing.
And I.
Your arm, then. Now, Queequeg, your knife. There. There now, harpoon. Baptized in the name of devil. In thy keen edge I hold death for Moby Dick.
Further into the great Pacific fishing grounds swept the Pequod, lowering at every spout, the men rocking in the tiny whaleboats as the soft waves purred against the gunwales. These are times of dreamy quietude, when beholding the tranquil beauty and brilliancy of the ocean's skin, one forgets the tiger heart that pants beneath it. Now steals the golden hush o'er the waves, so that the mariner will all but swear that wearied children lie sleeping in these solitudes. Now, gazing far down from his boat's side into that same golden sea, is Starbuck.
Loveliness unfathomable, as ever lover saw in his young bride's eye. Tell me not of thy teeth-tiered sharks and thy kidnapping cannibal ways. Let faith oust fact. Let fancy oust memory. I look deep down and do believe.
What warmest climes but nurse the cruelest fangs, skies most effulgent but basket the deadliest thunders, and from out that cloudless sky burst the direst of all storms, the typhoon.
Stop!
Aye, Mr. Starbuck.
See to the lashings!
Hey, that wave has a start around the world to meet me, and I can run but across the deck. Me father was the keeper of the Eddystone Light.
Avast, thou art a brave man, thou hold thy peace.
But I am not a brave man. I sing to keep up my spirits.
Belay stuff.
Nay, Mr. Starbuck. There's no way to stop my singing but to cut my throat.
Madman, look through my eyes if thou hast none of thine own.
What is it, Mr. Starbuck?
Look you there, Stubb. Mark Ahab's boat.
Hey, stove in.
Aye, stove in the stern sheets where he stands. Now jump overboard and sing if thou must.
Nay. What's in the wind?
The gale that now hammers at us to stave us. We can turn it into a fair wind to drive us home. Yonder to windward all is blackness of doom. But to leeward, homeward, see how the light shines the way to Nantucket and home.
Mr. Starbuck!
Aye, Captain.
Turn not a point to leeward. Drive into it.
Nay, sir, look now, aloft. Look. The corpusants. St. Elmo's fire on the yards.
Aye, the masthead burn like tapers on an altar.
The corpusants have mercy on us all.
See, it burns. It burns and destroys not. Aye, look. Mark it well. The white flame leads the way to the white whale. The lightning flashes through my skull. My whole beaten brain seems to be headed and rolling on some stunning ground. Thou foundling fire, thou hermit immemorial, leap! Leap up and lick the sky! I leap with thee, I burn with thee, defyingly, I worship thee!
God is against thee, old man, forbear. Let me square the yard while we may, and make a fair wind of it homeward.
Starbuck, your oaths to hunt the white whale are as binding as mine own.
But we must send down the main topsail yard. Shall I strike it, sir?
Strike it! Strike nothing. Lash it. If I had skysail poles, I'd sway 'em up now.
Sir, in God's name,
My masts and keels, he takes me for the hunchback skipper of some coasting snack. Send down my main topsail yard? No. Oh, no. Loftiest trucks were made for wildest winds. And this brain truck of mine now sails amid the cloud scud. Shall I strike that? Oh, no. None but cowards send down their brain trucks in tempest time. Nay, Starbuck, strike nothing, but lash everything aloft.
Some hours after midnight, the typhoon abated, and the crew set to work cutting away the splintered spars and shredded canvas. Then down below went Starbuck to report to Captain Ahab. The swaying cabin lamp was burning fitfully and casting fitful shadows on the old man's door. The loaded pistols in the rack gleamed in the swaying light.
He would have shot me once. Aye, there's the very pistol. Loaded, primed. With this, he would have killed me. Aye, and all the crew. Shall this crazed old man be tamely suffered to drag a whole ship's company to doom with him? Murder. He sleeps beyond this door. Sleeps. But soon will wake again. I can't withstand the old man. Thou sayest we're all Ahab. Great God forbid. I stand alone with 2 oceans between me and law. Ahab's hammock swings within. His head here. A touch, and Starbuck may survive to hug his wife and child again. Oh, Mary, Mary, and my boy. And if I wake thee not to death, old man, to what unsounded deeps will Starbuck's body this day sink? Great God, where art thou? Shall I?
Stern all! Stern all!
He mutters in his sleep.
Stern all! Oh, Moby Dick, I clutch thy heart at last.
Oh, God. God, help me. I cannot. Sleep on, old man, and wake to bring us all to death.
Now, from the east, her skysail showing white against the blue, the whaler Rachel bore down upon the Pequod. The Rachel's captain put off, and soon his boat hook clinched the Pequod's main chains.
Ahoy there! Have you seen the white whale?
Aye, yesterday. Give me a hand up there.
Here's
up. Have you seen a whaleboat adrift? My own boy was in it. Boat towed out of sight by that white demon.
He lives. Moby Dick still lives?
Aye, but yesterday he towed away the lead boat. Captain, let me charter your boat to search. For 8 and 40 hours only. You shall.
His son is lost. What say you, Captain? We'll save his son?
You too have a boy, Captain Ahab. Will you do it? You'll save my boy.
There!
Run, men! Stand by to square in the yard!
Us! Touch not a rope, Jan. Captain, I will not do it. Moby Dick is in my reach. I'll not lose time. Mr. Starbuck, in 3 minutes from this present, brace forward and let the ship sail on.
No, Ahab, no, I beg.
Goodbye. God bless you, men. And God forgive me, too. But I must sail on for Moby Dick.
Soon the 2 ships diverged their wakes, and by her halting course and winding, woeful way, you plainly saw that this ship that so wept with spray was truly Rachel, weeping for her children because they were not.
Starbuck?
Sir?
It's a mild, mild wind and a mild-looking sky.
Aye, sir.
On such a day as this, I struck my first whale. A boy harpooner of 14. 40 years ago. Not 3 of those years ashore. Oh, weariness, heaviness. 40 years on dry, salted fare. Fit emblem of the dry nourishment of my soul.
Aye. While the poorest landsman has fresh fruit to his daily hand.
Away, whole oceans away from that girl-wife I wedded past 50. Nay, not wedded. I widowed that child when I married her, Starbuck. Old Ahab, more a demon than a man. A fool, a 40 years fool. Starbuck, do I look so old, so very old? I feel bowed and humped as though I were Adam, staggering beneath the piled centuries since paradise.
Captain, there's a fair breeze to Nantucket.
Starbuck, stand close. Let me look into a human eye. So is it better than to gaze on God? I see my wife and child in thine eye. No, stay on board the Pequod when branded Ahab gives chase to Moby Dick. That hazard shall not be thine.
Oh, Captain, lower not for that deadly fish.
Oh, Starbuck.
Away with me. Let us fly these deadly waters. Let us home. How cheerily would we bowl on our way to old Nantucket.
God, crack my heart. Mockery, bitter mockery.
Come, Captain, let us away to wife and child. See my Mary on the hill waiting for her husband's sail. Come, Captain, come.
What is it, Starbuck? The nameless, hidden Lord and Master that commands against all natural longing. Is Ahab? Is it I, God, or who that lifts this arm? By heaven, man, we are turned round and round in this world like yonder windlass, and fate's the handspike. But, we'll sleep at last, Starbuck. Aye, toil how we may, we'll sleep at last.
So, Captain, shall I square away the yards? Home to Nantucket? The word, Captain. What say the word?
There she blows! She blows!
Right away!
To leeward! She blows! A hump like a snow hill! It's Moby Dick!
In stunsails! Down the gallansails! Stand by to lower boats! Mr. Starbuck, stay on board and keep the ship. Helm there, luff a point. So. Steady as she goes.
Aye, sir.
All ready, the boats there. Lower me, Mr. Starbuck, lower.
Stand by to lower boats.
Let go.
He blows to leeward, Captain.
Aye, Starbuck. Stay down on board and keep ship. Now, men, ship oars and pull. Pull, men. Pull. Reach me on his snow hill hump. Row and pull. I see thee now. Pull. I have thee now. Pull. In this hand I hold thy death.
Look! He sounds, Captain!
Aye, and now he'll stay below. Easy off, men. But then must he come up to light where Ahab's lance can reach.
Nay, Captain! The birds! The seabirds! They come this way!
They've keen eyes. Look down, Captain.
Aye,
Look down.
Aye, the birds see. Stern all, 'tis Moby Dick. Pull! He comes up towards the gate. Pull!
Jump!
The boat! It crushes! He shakes my boat as a cat to mouse. Monster! Demon! Demon!
Into the boiling sea spilled Ahab as the whale's great jaws closed upon the gunwales of the whaleboat and sheared it in twain. Now at the edge of the maelstrom of swirling planks and cedar chips and struggling men lay Moby Dick, slowly feeling with his giant flukes from side to side. And whenever a stray oar, a bit of plank, the slightest crumb of one of the boats touched his skin, his tail drew swiftly back and came sideways, smiting the sea. But soon, as if satisfied that his work was done, he continued his lurid way at a traveler's methodic pace. And as the whale drew off, down came the Pequod to fish her children from the foaming sea.
Here, Captain. Here, my arm.
Harpoon. My harpoon. Is it safe?
Aye, sir.
Any missing men?
5 oars, 5 men.
Help me, man. I wish to stand. So there I see his spout to leeward still. A leaping spout. Starbuck, set sail and after him.
Hark ye, Captain, your wrecked boat.
The thistle the ass refused. It pricked his mouth too keen, eh?
What soulless thing is this that laughs before a wreck? Neither groan nor laugh should be heard before a stove boat.
Aye, sir, it is a solemn sight. An omen and an ill one.
Omen?
Aye.
If the gods think to speak to men, they'll speak outright, not giving old wives hint. Begone! Ye two are opposite poles. Starbuck is stub reversed, and stub is Starbuck. And ye two are all mankind. And Ahab stands alone among the millions of the peopled earth. Nor gods nor men his neighbors. Cold, I shiver, Oh, now! Masthead aloft there!
Aye, sir.
Do you see him? Do you see Moby Dick? Sing out for every spout, though he spout 10 times a second.
Stacking her canvas high, the Pequod bore down in the leeward wake of Moby Dick. At methodic intervals, the whale's glittering spout was chanted from the mastheads, until the night fell close upon the sea. Then, when morning came, again the shout went up from aloft.
There she blows! Aye, blow, whale, and split your spout.
She breaches! There she breaches!
Aye, breach your last to the sun, Moby Dick. Thy hour and thy harpoon are at hand. Down, all of you! The boats, stand by!
Great God, but for one single instant show thyself. Never wilt thou capture him, old man.
Away, Starbuck!
Oh, sir, it is impiety and blasphemy to hunt him more.
Starbuck! Ahab is forever Ahab. This whole act's immutably decreed. 'Twas rehearsed by thee and me 1 billion years before this ocean rolled. I feel strained, half stranded as a passing hawser. But ere I break, Starbuck, you'll hear me crack. 2 days has Moby Dick defied me. He'll rise once more to spout his last. Lower away, boats!
Captain, noble heart, go not.
Stand by the crew. Starbuck, keep the ship. Pull, my men. Pull.
Heart of wrought steel. Oh, my God, what is this? Mary, girl, thou art grown dim. Starbuck, stave it off. Oh, Ahab, beware. Beware of thyself, old man.
The whale had sounded. Down went he to his green world below. And the boats lay rocking gently, grim Ahab's hand upon the harpoon, waiting till Moby Dick should rise and blow again. Suddenly, a low, rumbling sound was heard, a subterraneous hum, and a vast form shot lengthwise from the sea.
Pull! Pull! Here but my arms, my legs. Pull! Pull! Closer! There now, slack away.
We blew, Captain.
One more pull. There. He's off. Hold steady. Now my harpoon.
Aye, Captain.
Now, Moby Dick, I fling my curse. Steel blade and curse. Sunk to the socket.
He rolls.
The line. Mark the line. The line is parted. What breaks now in me? Some sinew cracks. Oars, quickly and on him. I grow blind with spume. Cry him out. Where is he?
He swim on the ship. The ship.
Oars, hope oars. Let Ahab drive this last time on his mark. The ship, dash on me, men. Will you not save my ship?
Straight upon the advancing prow of the Pequod bore Moby Dick, smiting his jaws amid fiery showers of foam. Upon the bowsprit stood Starbuck and Stubb, new fished from the wrecked whaleboats.
Up helm, ye fools! The jaw!
Oh, Ahab, lo, thy work. Steady, helmsman, steady! Lay up helm again, he turns to meet us. His prow drives on. Oh, my God, stand with me now.
The solid white buttress of the whale's forehead smote the Pequod's starboard bow. And through the breach they heard the waters pour as mountain torrents down a flume. Diving beneath the ship, the whale ran quivering along its keel and then away. Slowly, the Pequod settled in the water. And now the whale lay quiet within a few yards of Ahab's tiny, tossing boat.
I turn my body from the sun. Thou death-glorious ship, must ye then perish, and without me? Oh, lonely death, thou lonely life. From all your furthest bounds pour ye in now, ye bold billows of my whole foregone life, and top this one piled comber of my death.
He blow again, Captain.
Aye, Moby Dick, toward thee I roll, thou all-destroying but unconquering whale. To the last I grapple with thee, from hell's heart I stab at thee. For hate's sake I spit my last breath at thee. Let me die still chasing thee, still tied to thee, thou damned whale. Thus I give up the spear.
Captain, the rope, the line, it's fouled.
Catch it once round the log ahead.
Watch out, the loop, the loop.
Captain, down!
Ahab, caught by the flying turn of line around the neck, shot from the boat into the sea, down through the green silence, past the shadows of the sun and waves, down into the black unknown dove mad Ahab, tied for eternity to the white whale, still in death, pursuing Moby Dick, down to the quiet darkness and eternal rest of the ocean deeps. And now concentric circles seized the lone boat itself, and all its crew, and each floating oar, and every lance pole, and spinning, animate and inanimate, all round and round in one vortex, carried the smallest chip of the Pequod down out of sight. The drama's done. Why then here does anyone step forth? Because one did survive the wreck. I, Ishmael, lay floating in the wreckage. Clinging to a shattered spar, I floated on a soft and dirge-like main. On the second day, a sail drew nearer, and picked me up at last. It was the Rachel, that in her retracing search after her missing children, only found another orphan.
have been listening to Moby Dick, an NBC University Theater production of the Herman Melville novel, starring Henry Hull as Ahab. Next week at this same time, we will bring you another classic of Anglo-American literature, Huckleberry Finn by Mark Twain. And the following week, Samuel Butler's great novel, The Way of All Flesh. The present semester of the NBC University Theater is devoted to the classics of Anglo-American literature from the time of Henry Fielding to that of Henry James. If you wish, you may learn more about these authors and their works by enrolling in the college-supervised courses now being offered in connection with the NBC University Theater. The University of Tulsa in Oklahoma, Washington State College, and Kansas State Teachers College have now completed their plans for offering such a course in the coming months, thus joining the University of Louisville, whose established home study plan is already serving listeners in another area of the nation. For information, then, as to how you may enhance your knowledge through these courses, write to NBC University Theater, in care of the University of Louisville, Louisville, Kentucky, Washington State College, Pullman, Washington, the University of Tulsa, Tulsa, Oklahoma, or Kansas State Teachers College, Pittsburgh, Kansas. Moby Dick was adapted for radio by Ernest Kenoy. Starred as Captain Ahab, Mr. Henry Hull. Ishmael, the narrator, was High Upperback. John Beale was Starbuck. Our cast included Stephen Chase, Donald Morrison, John Daner, Ralph Moody, Lester Sharp. Your announcer, Don Stanley. The original musical score was composed and conducted by Dr. Albert Harris. The director of the NBC University Theater is Andrew C. Love. Next week, be with us again for the NBC University Theater dramatization of the delightful Mark Twain novel, Huckleberry Finn, starring Dean Stockwell. This program came to you from Hollywood. This is NBC, the national broadcasting company.